Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be Chosen's Corner, episode 3, where I sit down with HellHades. He is a primarily Raid Shadow Legends content provider who is fairly new on the scene to making videos. He's been putting out some good stuff, so I wanted to sit down, learn a little bit about him, and kind of talk some Raid and just kind of hang out. Chosen's Corner is kind of a podcast style, type of video / discussion. So, yeah, let's get into it. Alrighty, and now I am joined by HellHades. What's up? How you doing?
Hey, Chosen. Happy New Year. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Happy New Year. I may post this on January 2nd, but we are recording it on January 1st. By the time I edit it and get it uploaded, it might be January 2nd. But yeah, did you do anything crazy for New Year's last night?
Nothing too crazy. I had a load of family around, and obviously I've got a wife and kids, so pretty much just had a night of games, drinking, good fun, some food, general stuff.
Yeah, cool. Kind of similar to me. I didn't do anything too crazy. Games with a couple friends and a couple drinks. But yeah, so tell us just kind of a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and kind of your history in gaming and how you got into YouTube, and kind of just cover all the basics.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I'm from the UK. I think I'm one of the few YouTubers from the UK covering Raid. I mean, I've been into gaming pretty much all of my life, and I kind of come from a lot of big games like World of Warcraft, Star Wars Galaxies, played a lot of FPS games as well, mainly PC based. And I guess getting into Raid was a bit random, really. So for a job, I'm in sales and I do a lot of commuting, and I needed a game that was kind of working for me whilst I was traveling. And I literally just fell upon Raid. It looked pretty cool. I thought the graphics looked good. And yeah, opened up an account and away I went in sort of April time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's pretty
about exactly when I started playing. So we've been playing about the same exact amount of time. I think I started like the first week of April.
Yeah, I must have been similar sort of time to that. And as I say, I was just looking for something a bit different.
Yeah. So you played like Summoner's War and Star Wars. You said Star Wars Galaxy.
So now what I played was a game called Star Wars Galaxies, which is kind of like one of the early MMOs, like a World of Warcraft style game. I've never played a gotcha before this game. So this was a kind of new experience for me, but I've been into games which require a lot of grinding. So World of Warcraft is a really grindy game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I was used to that, didn't mind that. And I was also used to doing a lot of kind of theory crafting in World of Warcraft. I was in high-end raiding clans. So yeah, the experience of having to pull together a team to overcome a dungeon was not new to me.
Yeah, and did you ever play like Diablo 3 or any of the like StarCraft, the other Blizzard stuff besides World of Warcraft?
No, I played a bit of. So I play League of Legends quite a lot, and I played the what was it called? Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm. That's it. I played that for a while, but didn't really get on with it that much. Much preferred League of Legends.
Okay. Yeah, I could never get into League of Legends. The games took like 45 minutes. It was just like a little bit too slow paced for me. I like things like StarCraft and Overwatch where it's like constant action and like speed. But League of Legends is definitely a good game. I can see why people like it. It just wasn't really for me.
Yeah, well, I actually I had a spell of playing it, and I was terrible at the game, really bad at the game, and I was just kind of like, this isn't for me. And then a few of my friends, this is probably about 18 months later, a few of my friends started playing it online, and I was just like, I'll give it another go. And then I kind of fell in. I don't know, maybe played it for the next like 2 to 3 years, absolutely grinding it out. I'm still not that good, really. It's one of those frustrating games where you can play it for a long time, but the sort of skill gap is so high.
Yeah, every game now, I always tell people there's like good between you and your friends, and then there's like actually good. It's a whole different tier.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. That's cool, because Raid's actually my first gacha game as well. And usually when I talk to people anybody else I've had sit down with me and chat, they've always been like, yeah, I played Summoner's War, and I played this, I played this, I played this. They played all of them. So I feel like it's rare to run into someone like me and you where it's like your first experience, and then we both started at the exact same time as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think when I started, so in April, when I looked on YouTube, or where I looked for forums, I was trying to look for information as to how do I get better at this game. And there was such few like content creators out there. The forums didn't feel very like helpful for people that were new to the game. And I hadn't experienced that before. So coming from games like World of Warcraft, which was massive, and League of Legends, which was really well established when I started to play, I could just get information from anywhere. You know, it was just there was abundance of information. So, you know, I was coming into this and I was thinking, I don't really understand the games that well, but I'm kind of finding my way through it. And, you know, you had sort of tier lists that were coming out, which were a bit sketchy. So it was hard to find the sort of level of detail to sort of say, yeah, you know, how do I really build a team here, or who should I focus on, and that type of stuff. So, yeah, it's just a new experience.
Yeah, back in the day, like even before I was making content, I think like me and Darth were one of the, or like Salt. Me and Darth and Salt were like the three like first ones to kind of like really dive into like full-time content for Raid. Correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong. But yeah, there was like one tier list on Reddit that everybody was using, and nobody even had like you know, unkillable comps or anything, and most of the YouTubers like weren't even in Gold 4 yet. And so it was definitely interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And then I sort of stumbled across, I think Stu Gaming must have started up yeah, probably a month or so after I started playing. I was catching some of his stuff, but again, it was really early days and he was finding his feet as well. So yeah, and I think really that's what pushed me into thinking perhaps I should give this a go myself. And you sort of say, you know, how did I get into YouTube? Well, for me, it was just a case of, felt like Kizza had fallen off the scene, who was kind of dealing with a lot of end game stuff. And I was kind of, I was in the depths of the end game. So I thought, well, why not just try and put a few videos out and see if anyone was interested, really.
Okay. And you're very busy, right? Like you have a lot going on in real life, don't you?
Yeah. So I do work a full-time job in sales, which is pretty busy. Yeah, I've got the full shebang, really. Family, 3 kids, 2 sort of younger girls, and a son who's grown up. And yeah, I've just got it all going on. A couple of dogs. Every now and again, you kind of hear in the background of one of my videos a dog barking. I'm like, oh, stop, be quiet.
Yeah, that's crazy. I usually talk about how busy I am. I think you got me beat. Like, so in when you say full time in America, that means 40 hours. Is it the same in UK?
Yeah, I guess the type of work I do can stretch beyond that. But yeah, in effect, I'm a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday employee. But the type of work I do is it can actually sort of flex quite a bit. So some days I might work right through till 10 because we've got a load of busy projects on. Some days I'm home based and I'm able to sort of finish up at 2 or 3. So I really control my own diary, but yeah, it can be really busy.
Yeah, that's. Do you ever get flack from like your family where they're like they don't want you to like game or work on a video? They want you to like take a day off or something? Because I see you do a video like darn near every day, right?
Yeah, I do. Or what I sometimes do is I'll do 2 or 3 videos in a day, and you know, over the weekend or something when I've got time, and I'll just kind of stockpile a couple so that I can try and put one out every day. But yeah, you know, the weekends I definitely make sure I've got time. Like today, actually, I've been out with the family, went bowling, went for some food and stuff. Yeah, you know, just I make sure I've got time for that as well. Otherwise, what's the point?
Oh yeah, for sure. Are you gonna do Raid full time for a while? I saw you were kind of branching into like Battle Breakers and stuff. So are you ever gonna make content for other games or ride out Raid for as long as you can? What's kind of your outlook on that?
I think so. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing in YouTube. That's the first thing, and probably for me, it was a bit of a shock in terms of how quickly a channel can grow, and the sort of community feedback you get has been really strong. So from my side, that's been really great. I don't think I'm going to actually branch out into any other games anytime soon. I think there's a lot more I can be doing with Raid, and I think the community that's building for me is kind of Raid based. But obviously, you don't know where a game's going to go, so I do like to see what new games are coming through. I always kind of keep in touch with stuff like that anyway. But for me, I'm purely onto Raid right now, and I'm really enjoying doing it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat right now. I'm probably like 95% Raid, but I keep my ear to the ground. Like Warcraft 3 Remastered's coming out. I might do a video or 2 on that and just kind of dive into it. So yeah, I'm kind of the same boat. Mostly Raid, but I keep my ear to the ground if other stuff is gonna come online. And do you ever think there'll be a point where you like left your job and just did content?
Yeah, so that's probably the dream, really. Look, I'm really passionate about gaming, and I have been all my life. But you know, I've got a family to support and all that type of stuff. So absolutely, the first call for me is it going to work? And I don't think that would be anytime soon that I would be able to actually give up my sort of profession to. And actually, my wife is really kind of like risk adverse as well. So whereas if I was single, I'd probably be like, throw the job in. This is great fun. Let's just sort of crack on with this. But at the moment, I'm just trying to sort of spread myself between the two and sort of see how it goes.
Well, that's good that she's keeping you in line. So.
Yeah, absolutely, she is.
And so I noticed a lot of your content, or at least like 20 or 30% of it, seems to be account takeovers. So you like to like help people kind of maximize their kind of output and their direction on their account.
Yeah, so I did it as an idea quite early on, actually, and got some really good sort of reviews on it, and people said, we managed to pick up some good tips from it. So then I thought, well, I want to do a giveaway, but I don't really have a ton of gems to just throw at people and stuff. So I thought I'll do a giveaway and give away kind of 2 account takeovers, just kind of throw it out there for, I think it was my 3K subs. So yeah, so did that. They went really well as well. And I started getting a ton of messages about, can you do mine? Can you come in and have a look at my account?
Yep.
So yeah, so I just started to do them. I'm trying to put out a couple a week. And I guess what my aim was when I first started to do them was to try and show people a different way of seeing how they can improve their own account. And then I think I'll probably carry on as I am, maybe putting out a couple a week, try and keep it. Otherwise, it actually takes a huge amount of time that people don't really realize. But doing those type of videos probably eats about 5 hours of my time. So it's a big investment of time. But they are really well received, so I kind of just see how they go. It's been quite a fun series to do. I do like getting into other people's accounts. But what's probably more rewarding for me is when I get someone message me and say, I've just doubled my damage on Nightmare from where I was, a week ago because I followed the things you were doing in your videos.
Yep. And
that's pretty much why I made them, and the direction I was going with them. But yeah, it's insane the amount of people that are just kind of like, I'm sure you want to do another one. Do you fancy doing my account? And I'm like, I've got stacks that I can do.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So you have to kind of, like you say, in terms of like managing time, it's not been too bad recently because I've been on the holidays for Christmas and New Year. But yeah, obviously back to work next week. So that time's quickly eating away.
See, and it's almost opposite for me because during the holidays, I'm constantly like, going to something with my parents, going to something with my uncles, I'm out of town, going to Christmas stuff. So it's almost been more hectic for me, even though I'm supposed to have like free time until today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool though. That's good as well, isn't it? Actually, that's kind of what it's all about, really.
Oh, for sure. And so like, what clan boss team do you use like on your main account? Do you do like the unkillable comp? Do you do what's...
Yeah, so no, I've got I'd say pretty standard team really. So I do Ultan for my decrease attack. I've got Vizier in my team, who completely is like a game-changing champion really, because you can kind of build a team just around him. Yeah, he's insane. So then I use, so I've got Ultan, I've got Razin, I've got Bad L. So Bad L, because Vizier's in my team, he's my only poisoner, which again is kind of just like so over the top broken, really. And then I just got, who's my 5th guy?
It's not.
I actually need to check my team.
It's probably not Dracomorph because you have Razin. Is it a counterattack? Is it like Valkyrie?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, Skull Crusher.
Okay.
So I don't have any of the legendary counterattack guys. I've only got Skull Crusher, but yeah, it's he's super good anyway.
Yeah, I was just curious. I always like to see what people run. If it's like lifesteal without Bad Alcazar, or if it's like double counterattack, or if it's unkillable.
Yeah, so since I got Bad L, I've never run lifesteal gear. I'm probably one of the few people.
Yeah, same.
My only champion in lifesteal is Skull.
Yep, exactly.
And that's because he takes such a big hit. But yeah, who's your team? Who's your lineup?
I do Jarek with attack down, and then I run double counterattack with Valkyrie Martyr. Dracomorph is my poisoner and debuffer, and then Bad L is my poisoner and healer, who enables me to not run lifesteal.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I just kind of like stack defense like, as high as I can get it. And that just means that my guys aren't taking that much damage. Bad L can heal it straight up. Yeah, it just works really well. So I'm basically 2-keying Ultimate Nightmare. But
And so, that's pretty good. How long does your team survive? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. Yeah, so normally around 13 to 15 minutes, depending on RNG and affinity and that type of thing.
Yep. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm probably gonna switch my. I was focused on HP because I thought Battle Khazar's heal is based on HP, and then Jareg's aura is based on HP. So I'll go ahead, stack a bunch of HP so that my heals are huge. But I'm thinking I might swap to more defense or something because I typically only live for like 8 minutes.
Do you? And
Yeah.
what sort of damage do you do?
About 25 a key. So it takes me like, 3 keys.
Yeah, so I'm doing about 40 million a key. But obviously Vizier is like broken good. He's so good. But what I found, so I do the same sort of thing when I do these takeovers. And I find that a lot of people are putting a huge amount of emphasis on HP. And defense is like, for me, it's by far the better stat. Like, it's so far better than HP. It's insane. And I think until you get to around 5k defense, that kind of diminishing return doesn't really kick in that hard.
Okay.
So
for
what I do with everybody.
For people who are newer, why do you feel like that? Why is defense such a better stat?
Because I guess I've just done it for a lot of trial and tests, really. But what I'm seeing is, I guess, so I've got Jarek. I was using Jarek as well, and I had him hugely high HP, like 80 odd K. He was on about 2.5k defense, and he was always the first to die. And that's what kind of opened my eyes to it in the first. Because I had people that were way lower HP, like 30k, but more like 4k defense, and they were easily outliving Jarek on hits. So, and I saw very early on, there was this graph that kind of showed diminishing returns, and it kind of started to curve off at about 2.5k defense. And I thought, okay, so HP is the way to go. Well, that graph was just false, basically false. And you just see in the amount of damage that the guys are taking in the early stages of Ultimate Nightmare. And it's even more prevalent if you get to Ultimate Nightmare, because the clan boss hits so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And you just kind of notice that, my bad L can easily keep my team alive when I've stacked defense, whereas he struggled to keep my team alive once I got to around 7 minutes or so when I was stacking 8.
Yep, and that's what I run into, which is why I was talking about, because I was kind of in that boat, the old school boat, where you go 2,500 defense. Like, if I pull up my Jareg, I know you can't see this, but my Jareg is literally like 2,600 defense, and then, 75,000 HP or whatever.
Yeah, really similar to how I had him built before, actually, when I was using him as my attack down guy. And I just, what I do is so obvious on all of my takeover videos. So I literally look at their defense, and I'm just like, that's all you need to do. If you stack defense on these poisoners, if you stack defense on your kind of anyone who's like attack based, you will still do more damage. It's definitely the stat to go for. And what I find is most champions, you can definitely get to like 3.5k defense if you use the jewelry items as defensive. If you put defense chests on, as long as they don't have like a really terrible base defense, at which point you might decide to switch out for an HP chest or gloves. But otherwise, I'd just stack defense all the way.
Yep. No, and I've kind of come to that realization as well. I think you're dead on there. And now you're somebody who plays in Platinum Arena, right?
Yeah, I actually really enjoy Arena. For me, so I come from a lot of competitive online games. So even if I kind of come away from things like League of Legends, I used to play a lot of FPS games like Counter-Strike and that type of thing, where I was always playing at like a competitive level. So Counter-Strike, I was in like a UK team, and it was not like top pro level, but I was in competitive level teams. Mm-hmm. And I play online games to be competitive. That's what I enjoy about it. So even something like Raid, for me, it was like a breath of fresh air when they brought out the Platinum Arena, where people could actually start to compete with each other. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, I was running a kind of high defense, high resistance team before that was a thing, really, because I just found it a lot of fun. People couldn't do anything to me. I was just kind of like, I was just like swatting them away. But So for me, Platinum Arena is good fun, but I think they've got a long way to go in terms of the way they reward people for being high in Plat Arena, the way they reward anybody for getting arena points. I think at the moment it's just too random, too much RNG, and actually not enough reward for the amount of effort that people are putting in compared to other games that are kind of like this I see around.
Yeah, I think the rewards for Arena for Platinum Arena, well, actually just for Arena across the board, are nowhere near what they should be. Like, not even close.
Yeah, well, it just means that everybody. So when I do these takeovers and I say, what's your top 2 priorities? Almost everybody, it's clan boss, and then it's probably something like a spider team because it's such a hard dungeon.
Yep.
But maybe 1 in 10 say, help me with an arena team, and they're probably only doing that because they've watched some of my arena videos where I've got some fun champs just absolutely kind of smashing people. Got Ultan hitting people for over 100k, and it's good fun. But not many people kind of focus on it because the rewards are so bad. You're not going to get your shards or your tomes really from arena, and if you do, it's once a week, and that's if you're really lucky.
Yeah, for the rewards being once a week, like you compare it to the clan boss as once a day, and the rewards are better in the clan boss, and it's once a day.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that part of it, I think they just got totally wrong, and I think I've seen Stu talk about it a bit, and a few others actually. But if they just had a shop where you earn tokens, you go in and buy the items that you want, based you get points based on where you are or where you finish in the week or where you finish in the day, whatever it is. But then someone can actually go in and sort of select the prize that they want. I think that drastically changes the game. All of a sudden people focus on the arena a lot more.
Yep, that would be epic if you could use your tokens that you've earned to purchase energy or purchase shards, like whatever you prioritize. That would be a game changer.
And it might be that maybe there's free tomes, for example, that you can purchase within a month, and then after that they've sold out for that month. Fine, I don't mind what it is, but let people choose instead of force people to have stuff which might be completely irrelevant to.
What side note, what's your Great Hall look like? Like, what's the development level? Which ones are maxed? What did you prioritize while we're talking about arena?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I've kind of gone down pretty standard route of hitting accuracy pretty hard. So my only level 10 is in accuracy, but then the other accuracies are all kind of level 8s. I've gone defense, because I think defense is the next most important stat in the game. And most of my defenses are now level 8s. And after that, I've done resistance because I massively value resistance in the arena. So my guys run like 500 resistance in some crazy gear. And, basically my game plan is don't get debuffed, therefore you win the game. That's my...
Yep. And especially in Platinum Arena, that's definitely the case.
Yeah, and then the rest of it is kind of basically level 6 to 7 across the board, apart from attack. Attack's the only thing I haven't really spent any time or put much investment into. I think I'm like level 4s in attack. But if you think about it, so every single champion in the game benefits from HP, benefits from defense, benefits from crit, all the other stats, every champion benefits from, but only a third of the champions in the game benefit from attack.
Yep.
So that's the one I've kind of deprioritized, basically. It's for me, it's a nothing stat compared to any other stat.
Yep. I invested semi-heavily in Void Attack because when I was a newer player, Bellower was my campaign farmer, and I wanted him to be able to one-shot Brutal. So
sure, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Other than that, I didn't really put a whole lot of stock into attack. That's the only one I have gold is Void, and then I went accuracy, and then like you said, crit damage, defense, HP. My development level is 131.
Okay, so I'm at 166.
Yeah. Okay.
Which
So did you spend like a bunch of gems, like grinding arena, or?
Not gems. What I have done, so I was quite into buying the Conqueror packs when they first came out, and they were $4.99. I think they were pretty good value. So I did sort of grind up. So with the tokens you get from that, it was quite a lot extra a day, another 30 odd a day. So I used those to grind out a lot of points. And before I went into this kind of resistance team, I had early on, I had quite a good speed team, which didn't really lose or lost very rarely. So I just kind of, I ground out tokens straight away. I guess compared to most people, I got onto that vibe of the Great Hall's really important very early on. And a lot of people kind of don't really understand it for the first couple of months of playing.
Yeah, you know this from doing account takeovers, which we've both done. You'll see somebody who's played for 3 months, and you'll pull up their Great Hall, and it's nothing, and you're like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. Well, I was just talking to somebody literally today, actually, and he said, "Well, the reason my Great Hall's so bad is because I've stayed in bronze all this time because I wanted to get all of my bronze." Awards, and I'm just like, mate, do you realize that you can use silver tokens and gold tokens to upgrade anything? And he's like, what? So he's been grinding up bronze awards for 3 months or something, and I'm just like, wow.
Ooh, man. Yeah, that's I mean, like, I don't want to make fun of them. Like, I see how somebody could mistake that, but that's brutal.
Yeah, it's not obvious, I guess, but it's yeah. When I saw it, I was just like, "Wow, mate, that's so much time you've spent just trying to stay in bronze is quite hard."
Yeah, I'm all about like quality of life and like grinding quickly. So my philosophy is I'm just gonna stay in gold 4. I only lose like once every 1,000 battles, so I can just smash gold 4 over and over and over, and I can be kind of lazy, I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, and I get that. I totally get it. I know a lot of people do it, and I think when I drop down into gold 4 at the start of each week, and you kind of start the grind again, it's super easy. You're just kind of like flying through the 10, you reset, you do the next 10. You think, actually, what I do now is I spend probably about 2.5 minutes per battle in. I find it more rewarding because I actually enjoy the fights. I enjoy trying to outthink what the team is that I'm up against. But I do get that some people would just kind of want to get those tokens and get the Great Hall improved.
Yeah. So yeah, it's funny to see how different people get enjoyment out of a game. Because like I come from Diablo 3. That was like my hardcore game, and it's all about being efficient and accumulating as much resource as possible per hour. And so I come from the mentality on raid where like I just want to be as efficient as possible. Like I just want to burn through the arena and spend my 50 tokens a day in like 5 minutes and be done with it.
Yeah, I do get it. But then, so where do you kind of find that you really want to push yourself in this game? How do you kind of keep being motivated and to keep?
I guess my motivation is to just set myself up as good as possible for all like future content, like getting my faction wars teams ironed out, getting as many champions to 6-star as possible and investing in as many champions as possible, just so that no matter what they release in the future, I'll be ready to go. Like if I thought Platinum Arena was worth it, like if you got 10 or 12 medals per win or something, I would really push towards Plat. But I think it's like 5, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only 5. Yeah. It's literally I actually get less medals being in Plat than I did in gold by far, because I can lose 2 or 3 in a row just against a strong team.
And so like I do appreciate the competitive part of it, and I think what you do is really cool, and that's definitely fun. And it would be fun to watch you like stream that, so that's cool. But I just want to be efficient, and accumulating medals, I guess, is my like mentality.
Yeah. And you mentioned faction wars there. How do you find faction wars since they kind of did the second nerf?
I didn't really notice a whole lot. I think with faction wars, I think they hit a home run with glyphs. I think glyphs are very cool. But I think faction wars in general was a little bit underwhelming. I would have liked it to be maybe like something incorporated with your clan, like where you could all kind of work towards an objective, and all contribute and then like share rewards or something. I think they could have done it's such a good idea. They could have done so much more with it. I hope they kind of flesh it out a little bit more. I don't know. What was your take on it?
Yeah, so I mean, now that they've changed the difficulty level a bit, I'm finding I can get through the different factions now, which is good. At least it's possible, because I've got high-end teams, and I was struggling to get past 16 on most of the factions beforehand. I do think that you're right. I think that there could be something in it where even if it's like one faction for the week becomes the kind of group objective, and you're trying to kind of work through a much longer dungeon, much more difficult, almost like a series of clan bosses, would have been quite cool to do, while still having maybe one or two of the factions open as like a smaller dungeon, which you just kind of grind glyphs on. So I think that would have been a better angle to go with. I also think that they should. I don't think there should be so much RNG in the glyphs, because it doesn't really give people that the emphasis to go for the higher levels. So I had a 6-star glyph, first one I ever got actually the other day when I beat level 21. I beat 21 on high elf. And
how long did it take? Sorry, I just was curious.
Yeah, so I think it was like a 9-minute run, 8 or 9 minutes.
See, and sorry, I just wanted to, before I forget this point, because you were talking about how there's so much RNG in the glyphs, and that's kind of my take as well. You already know how I think. I want to speed farm it. So, like, I stay down like level 13 or 12 or whatever, because I can get 4-star glyphs, and I can farm it in like 45 seconds. And, you know, I can do faction wars in like 5 minutes a day, because like 9-minute runs, I don't want to spend like 30 minutes doing faction wars every day, you know?
Yeah, and interesting. So I did the dungeon. I got the legendary book for beating 21, but I've not been back to 21 since. So I actually go back to like 16 or something. There's something similar, like a minute and a half run.
Yeah.
So I do have a similar mindset on that. I quite often I look at the faction for the next day and I think, oh great, this one's just going to be like a level 13. Quickly do a few runs because I'm not going to get any better on this one. But I also do like, where I've got good teams, I do like to try and push to beat that 21, and I've beaten 3 of them so far. But for me, again, because I like the challenge, it's my competitive nature, I like the challenge of actually trying to do it.
Yep.
And I put out a video recently on faction wars where I was just kind of saying that you don't have to have necessarily the best champs. It's more about gearing in faction wars if you want to go for, and using some of these gear sets that's probably just gathering dust, like your stun sets and the sets that basically add control, and control is as powerful as strength in this game, I'd say, for that sort of content.
Especially in faction wars.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, anyone that can kind of strip buffs, or anyone that can stop the other, your opponent having a turn, is just like golden in faction. But for me, so I got this 6-star glyph, and I kind of rolled it on someone. I think I got like a +2% defense. And I'm just kind of thinking, wow, that was it was a 10-minute run. Yeah. And the RNG is just kind of, you already get RNG in terms of what glyph you're going to get. You then get it again when you roll it, which I think is probably the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, because it's the same thing with like speed glyphs. Like, your 4-star speed, it'll roll like 1 to 4, so you still get like 1 or 2 all the time on it, and it's like I might as well just farm 2-star glyphs. Like,
yeah. When I do quite a lot of speed tuning with my teams, and you're kind of like praying that you get at least +3 or something. If you're trying to get a piece of gear to the right level for the speed you need, you're just praying that you get the right number roll. Otherwise, you're just like, what am I going to do? I need to change another item or something. So yeah, I think the RNG is too heavy on it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And do you wish there was some sort of mechanic to reset gear, like for 20 gems, you can reset a piece of gear from 16 to level 1?
That's interesting. Actually, I've not thought of that. I think there definitely should just be a clear button for glyphs. I think you should be able to just clean off glyphs. If you've got a piece of gear that you've pushed too fast, for example, then you should be able to reset that. It's interesting actually, resetting a piece of gear to see if you can get better
like
rolls.
Substats. Yeah,
I've not thought of it, but actually I think that's a great idea. I think that would be a good idea. It would make gear more interesting. I don't know if it would just kind of push the distance between the kind of pay-to-play and free-to-play players too far, though, because your pay-to-play players will literally just re-roll a piece of gear, 100 times or something. I just can't imagine that would be good for the game overall for me.
You'd have like 430 speed arbiters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as it is now. I mean, I got up to like 336 speed on my arbiter, and I was thinking, surely I've got to be the quickest. And I got into plat, and I don't beat anyone for speed. I don't beat a single person in like top 100 plat for speed.
Wow, at 336 or whatever.
Yeah, so which is why I kind of push for this heavy defense, different style of team, because I figure, well, if I can't go first, I need to stay alive for the next encounter.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I I got my Arbor to 300, and it's plenty good enough for Gold 4, so I just stopped there.
Yeah. Well, and this is why I never lost any fights, like running through Gold 4, because I was always quick, and I never really lost to speed. But when you do get up to that higher end, and like you say, you know, some people farm overnight every night the Dragon Dungeon and might just get that one extra bit of speed from doing that, which is fine, you know, fair enough, that's part of it. But I'm not doing that. And I guess I'm just falling behind.
Yeah, so how do you grind then if you don't ever use like an auto dungeon or overnight or anything, like, because you have pretty good gear, so you must like play a lot.
Yeah, or so I guess what I do a lot is I've just got my phone there, so I've got the game on my phone and on my laptop. I just hit the replay button, so I'm not even looking at it. I've got speed farm teams. I should just get an auto clicker. I've never done it, but I should just do it. I literally just sit there and I hit auto. I hit replay, sorry. I'm just hitting a replay. I'm doing some work. I just see it's finished, hit replay. Or my son's quite often he's like interested in my game. Like, I, you know, just play it, hit the replay when it's done.
Oh yeah, see, now I figured it out. There it is. See, I don't have kids, so I'm at a disadvantage here. I can't.
Yeah. I pass it around the three kids. Yeah, I see it. I'm in the shower and I like, give it to one of my daughters. I'm like, yeah, I'll hit the replay.
I knew I would find out the secret eventually. There it is.
Yeah, for sure. No, you've got to do it some way. If you haven't got an auto clicker, you need to hire one.
So, and then before we end, one thing I always ask on this show, if I have somebody who plays Raid on, what do you think is the most important thing that they should like change, or what, like if they asked you for your input, what would you say?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I'm torn between two things. I think the clan boss is basically broken right now. I think it's ridiculous that you can't build a clan that everyone in that clan is able to attack the highest level clan boss and get the highest rewards. So for me, that's probably number one, that you should get competitive clans and they should be able to all fight the main clan objective for the day. But I guess the kind of sub to that, and it's along the same theme, but I think if they could just add something which is like a clan v clan part of the game to make clans more competitive with each other, I think that will bring a different dynamic to the game. I think it makes the game, you know, a bit more of a global hit than kind of like a solo play.
Yep. No, I completely agree with you on that. I think I actually did a whole video on how to fix the clan boss. Like, it's an absolute disaster, like the current clan boss system. Like, the fact that you're punished for like recruiting good players because they steal damage from other members, and then people can't get the max chest, so you get members like fighting with each other and leaving clans, and we can't have too many people, but we got to have the right amount. Like, it's just an absolute disaster. And what I said was the damage should count up instead of counting down. That way you can go over the max and everybody can do as much damage as they want.
Yeah, that's just that's probably a really easy fix as well.
That's what
I would have thought.
And I've gone straight to the top. I have told Plarium about that. I'm like, all you have to do is literally change it from a count down to a count up. And then when you hit a certain damage threshold, everybody gets their chest. But since it's counting up and you can go over the cap, people can, you know, get their damage in if they, you know, are later in the day or whatever, and the boss is already technically dead. So it literally solves everything in 5 minutes. And so I don't know why it's taken a year for them to figure that out. But yeah, I totally agree with you. That's an absolute disaster. And definitely adding clan versus clan, some sort of PvP, team versus team. But they were talking about like a 3v3 arena, so maybe they will have like a clan versus clan, like clan war type of arena match or something.
Yeah, because isn't there something in the roadmap around partnership arena? I can't remember the actual wording of it now, but almost like 2v2 type stuff, as in you clan, you team up with somebody in your clan to fight two people.
Yeah, I think it was 3v3 arena on the roadmap.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think it was 3v3, and yeah, so maybe, but yeah, clan wars or some sort of clan versus clan, you know, or getting a bunch of clans like in a group of 5, and then you fight, and then 1 through 5 determines your rewards. You know, like some sort of competition between teams would definitely push this game like to the next level, where it would go from like a good game to like, you know, top 2 on the App Store. like they need to get
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, and I think if you look at any of the kind of really successful mobile games, then that's where it goes. It's almost, what's the competitive element? What's the kind of drive that gets you past the day-to-day stuff, which is what we're in at the moment. We're in the day-to-day grind. What pushes you to really want to maximize the potential of your teams? And at the moment, we don't really have anything to maximize team potential other than, just a bit of kind of ego, and sort of throwing it around Reddit that I've got the fastest time on Dragon or something.
Yeah, and it's the same thing in the clan boss. Like, if you do 100 million damage, like that, you should be valuable. Your team should be like, awesome, this person does 100 million damage. But instead it's like, well, screw you, you're stealing damage from other people. So,
yeah, that's it. And two other people leave the clan because
yeah.
you got this big hitter in. Yeah.
So that's, I agree with you on your #1 priority. They have to address that. So yeah, we're in total accordance on that. But I don't want to take too much of your time, but this has been really fun. But we're hitting like the 40-minute mark. So I guess in closing, let people know kind of what you do, where they can find you, and kind of your plans for future content and all that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I mean, I've been on YouTube for the last 6 to 7 weeks, so I'm still pretty fresh into it. But you can find me at HellHades. You should see my videos kind of clicking around the place now. Hopefully, my content's mainly aimed at endgame, but I am doing a lot more around kind of how to beat a dungeon, who should I 6-star next, that type of stuff. I've got my own Discord server as well. All of the details are on my YouTube channel. So yeah, feel free to hit me up. And yeah, Chosen, thanks for having me on. It's been really great talking to you.
Yeah, no, I had a blast chatting with you. That 40 minutes went by really fast. And I'll definitely, link your stuff down in the video description. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, and Happy New Year's, man.
Yeah, Happy New Year's. Cheers, man. Catch you later.
Yep, cheers. All right, that's going to do it for Chosen's Corner episode 3 featuring HellHades, and a huge shout out to him for sitting down with me and, joining me for this episode. So as always, make sure and check down in the video description. I will have a link to HellHades' channel. Go ahead and check him out. He makes some good content for Raid, and, I think he's diving into some other stuff as well. So definitely go show him some love and subscribe and support him. And, yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.